Being laughed at during a will reading is humiliating. Watching those same people's faces change when the lawyer reads page 17, that's vindication. I'm Rachel Foster, 29 years old. 1 week ago, I sat in a lawyer's office for the reading of my grandmother's will, surrounded by family, my mother, my two aunts, my three cousins, all expecting their share of Grandma Helen's estate. The lawyer read my name first. To Rachel Foster, I leave my collection of vintage jewelry. Estimated value, $8,000. My cousin Jessica laughed out loud. 8,000? That's it? The jewelry? My Aunt Margaret said, Helen always did favor Rachel, but I guess she finally saw reality. They were all expecting more. The house, the investments, the real money. I was the granddaughter who'd visited every week, who'd helped Grandma through chemo, who'd held her hand when she died. 8,000 in jewelry felt like a slap, like all those years meant nothing. Then the lawyer said, if everyone could please remain seated, there's a continuation clause, page 17. He turned pages, my family went quiet, curious but still smug. He read, the jewelry collection bequeathed to Rachel Foster includes a hidden asset. Inside the vintage sapphire brooch is a hidden compartment. That key opens safety deposit box 437 at First National Bank. Contents? Bearer bonds valued at $2.3 million. Sole beneficiary and only authorized accessor? Rachel Foster. The room went silent, then exploded. This is that story. Before I tell you what was in that safety deposit box, before you hear what my family offered when they realized their mistake, hit like now. Subscribe for hidden inheritance stories. Drop your city. This is about reading the fine print. Growing up, Grandma Helen was my person, my safe place, the one who believed in me when nobody else did. My mom worked constantly, single parent, 3 jobs, loved me but was never around. My aunts, Margaret and Susan, were successful, corporate careers, money, status, but cold, distant, only showed up to family events when it looked good. My cousins, Jessica, Lauren, and Michael, were golden children, private schools, trust funds, everything handed to them. I was the scholarship kid, the one who worked through college, who lived with Grandma to save money, who helped her with groceries and yard work in exchange for free rent. From 18 to 25, I lived with Grandma, helped her, talked to her, was her companion. My family thought I was using her. Rachel's living off Helen, saving money while the rest of us work. I was working, full-time job plus grad school, but I was also caring for an aging grandmother who lived alone. At 25, I moved out, got my own apartment, but I still visited every week, Sunday dinners, helped with errands, stayed overnight when she was sick. 3 years ago, Grandma was diagnosed with cancer, stage 3, aggressive. I took her to every appointment, every chemo session, held her hand through the worst of it. My mother visited monthly. My aunts came for major updates. My cousins, maybe twice a year. But I was there every week, through good days and terrible days, through remission and relapse. 2 months ago, Grandma died, peacefully. I was holding her hand, reading her favorite book. She squeezed my hand, smiled, then she was gone. The funeral was last week. Big service. Everyone showed up, my entire family, all crying, all claiming they'd been close to her. Jessica gave a eulogy about special memories with Grandma, memories from when she was 8. My Aunt Margaret talked about how Helen taught us the value of family. Helen, who she'd visited maybe 10 times in 3 years. I didn't give a eulogy. Too heartbroken, too private. Just sat in the front row crying. After the funeral, the lawyer, Robert Hayes, announced the will reading. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., all family members named in the will must attend. The next day, Robert Hayes's office, everyone gathered. My mother, my aunts Margaret and Susan, cousins Jessica, Lauren, and Michael, all sitting around a conference table. looking expectant. Grandma's estate was estimated at $3.5 million, house worth $800K, investments, savings, assets accumulated over 85 years. Everyone expected their share. My aunts thought they'd split most of it. My cousins expected trust funds. My mother expected the house. I expected, I don't know, something meaningful, recognition for being there, for caring. Robert began reading. Last Will and Testament of Helen Foster. I, Helen Foster, being of sound mind. Standard opening. Then the bequests. To my daughter, Margaret Foster, I leave the sum of $100,000 and my china collection. Margaret smiled, nodded, pleased. To my daughter, Susan Foster, I leave the sum of $100,000 and my art collection. Susan looked satisfied. To my daughter, Patricia Foster, my mother, I leave my house, valued at approximately $800,000, and the sum of $50,000. My mother looked shocked, happy shocked. The house was prime Connecticut real estate, worth potentially more than $800K. To my grandchildren, Jessica, Lauren, and Michael Foster, I leave $50,000 each. My cousins smiled. $50,000 each, free money. Everyone was pleased, adding it up. The math worked, about $1.3 million distributed, still about $2.2 million unaccounted for, probably in investments to be split. Then Robert said, to my granddaughter Rachel Foster, I leave my collection of vintage jewelry. Estimated value, $8,000. Silence. Then Jessica laughed, actually laughed. 8,000? That's it? The jewelry? My Aunt Margaret said, well, Helen was generous, but I suppose she knew who actually needed what. Rachel's doing fine on her own. Lauren said, at least you got something, Rachel. The jewelry's pretty, very vintage. They pitied me. 8,000 in jewelry while everyone else got tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. I felt humiliated, hurt, confused. I'd been there for Grandma for 11 years, every week, through cancer, through death, and I got jewelry worth $8,000? My mother looked uncomfortable. I'm sure Helen had her reasons. Rachel, you can have some furniture from the house if you want. Pity. They were giving me pity. I was about to leave, stand up, walk out before I cried. Then Robert said, please remain seated. There's more. Robert said, if everyone could remain seated, the will has a continuation clause, page 17. He turned pages. My family looked curious, but still smug. Probably some sentimental items, Grandma's books, more jewelry. He cleared his throat, read carefully. Rachel Foster's jewelry collection is not merely sentimental. Among the pieces is a vintage sapphire brooch, Art Deco, 1925. Inside the clasp of that brooch is a hidden compartment containing a key. That key opens safety deposit box 437 at First National Bank, Hartford branch. I have held that box for 40 years. Inside are bearer bonds, purchased in 1983. Current estimated value, $2.3 million. Sole beneficiary and only authorized accessor, Rachel Foster. Dead silence. You could have heard a pin drop. Then chaos. My Aunt Margaret said, what? $2.3 million? That's impossible. Jessica said, she left Rachel $2.3 million hidden in jewelry? My mother said, Robert, is this real? Bearer bonds? Robert said calmly, very real. Mrs. Foster invested in bearer bonds in the 1980s. They've appreciated significantly. Current value based on last month's assessment, $2.347 million. Tax-free transfer to Rachel upon presentation of the key. He pulled out a document. Here's the bank verification. The safety deposit box exists. The bonds exist. Rachel gets the key. Rachel gets the bonds. My Aunt Susan said, this is insane. Why would she leave $2.3 million to Rachel and split peanuts among the rest of us? Robert pulled out another envelope. Mrs. Foster anticipated this question. She left a letter, to be read aloud. He opened it, began reading. To my family. You're probably shocked, angry, confused. Why did I leave most of my estate to Rachel? Let me explain. 40 years ago, I invested in bearer bonds, hidden investment, my private safety net. I watched that investment grow to over $2 million. I could have spent it, enjoyed it, but I saved it for someone who'd earned it. For 11 years, Rachel lived with me, helped me, cared for me. Not for money, not for inheritance, because she loved me. When I got cancer, Rachel was there. Every appointment, every treatment, every terrible day. She held my hand, made me laugh, kept me company. The rest of you visited occasionally, sent cards, made appearances. You loved me, but you didn't show up. Rachel showed up for 11 years through everything. Margaret, Susan, and Patricia are my daughters. I love you, but you built your own lives. You don't need my money. You have careers, homes, stability. Rachel built her life while caring for me, worked full-time, finished grad school, helped me. She sacrificed time and energy. She earned this. Jessica, Lauren, and Michael, you're young. You have trust funds from your parents. You'll be fine. Rachel has student loans, rent, an old car. She needs this more, and she earned it.